Welcome to the Arcane Archives channel. This is my first episode, and in the following episodes, I want to discuss topics related to humans. We often spend very little time thinking about ourselves, despite the fact that we humans have explored the skies and the earth, acquiring knowledge and seeking power to satisfy our various desires, driving us to constantly explore new frontiers. But we rarely think about where these needs and desires come from. For example, why are we so obsessed with sugars and fats, indulging in them despite knowing they're unhealthy? Why can humans engage in sexual activity at any time, unlike other animals that have specific mating seasons? Why do we crave social acceptance and constantly gossip about others? Why do most creatures die after losing their reproductive capabilities, yet humans cling to life so dearly? Why do you long for poetry and distant lands, enjoy the feeling of traveling and running, but regret spending the day indoors? These countless human desires are the result of millions of years of evolution as we adapted to our environment. Every part of our body, every joint, every hair, every thought, every emotion such as anger, joy, fear, sadness, empathy, and pity, reflects millions of years of interaction with nature, each phenomenon containing complex evolutionary logic. Of course, this vast amount of knowledge cannot be covered in a single episode. I will present this information as a series, highlighting key points in human evolution. In other videos, I will continue to weave and supplement this information, building a foundational understanding of evolution or evolutionary principles using humans as an example to show that we are products of evolution, not design. Since we will be discussing human evolution, we will start with the emergence of early primates. Fossil evidence suggests that the earliest humans appeared in Africa, and one of the most distinguishing features of humans compared to most other animals on the African plains is bipedalism. For humans, this has extraordinary significance. It is the golden key in the evolutionary process, leading to a completely different evolutionary direction and establishing the basic form of modern humans. In this episode, I will focus on the reasons and impacts of bipedalism. In 1973, scientists discovered an ancient ape named Lucy in an archaeological site in Ethiopia. The fossil, from a 12-year-old hominid dating back 3.2 million years, had a complete and obvious arch in its foot, indicating it could walk upright for long periods. The arch in the foot evolved to add elasticity and reduce shock for upright walking, preventing concussions during activities like sprinting. However, the arch also made the foot less suitable for grasping and tree dwelling. Before this, the flexibility of the feet was similar to that of the hands, but evolution sacrificed this flexibility for bipedalism. Therefore, the emergence of the foot arch is the most obvious marker of bipedalism. Additionally, it evolved a wide pelvis to support the upper body and connect the trunk to the lower limbs, and a larger kneecap to absorb impact during upright walking and running. These traits suggest Lucy could walk and even run for extended periods. Similar fossils were later found in Africa over the next decade, along with genetic evidence. Scientists roughly estimate that our ancestors began walking upright around 4.4 million years ago in East Africa. Evolution is a gradual process occurring over tens of thousands of years under specific environmental pressures. So what happened back then to force our ancestors out of the trees and onto the ground to start walking upright? Previously, it was thought that tool use and manufacture required humans to stand up, freeing their hands and leading to the beginning of civilization. This theory is idealistic and self-aggrandizing, placing tool use and manufacture at the forefront of human definition. However, research shows that bipedalism preceded the earliest tools by at least 1 million years, and the theory could be reversed. Humans began using tools because they first walked upright and freed their hands. Therefore, we need to understand the natural environment of that time to study the reasons for bipedalism. Most fossils suggest human origins in East Africa, especially in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. The map reveals a prominent geological feature, the East African Rift. formed by the drifting of the African and Indian Ocean plates around 10 million years ago. The African continent began to split here. The original African continent was a unified forest, teeming with water and plants, where animals, including primates, gathered ample fruits and leaves, occasionally eating insects or small animals. Tree dwelling was safer, as most large predators couldn't climb trees. Tree life may have required reaching for high fruit, evolving the ability to stand or walk short distances in trees. But there was no need for long-distance walking or running, so their bodies remained mostly unchanged, with most movement involving grasping branches. After the formation of the rift, Africa's forests were split in two. During the Pleistocene, global climate changes and glacial activity led to cooling, replacing tropical plants with deciduous forests and grasslands. Simultaneously, geological activity near the East African Rift caused mountains and valleys to form, blocking moist air from the west, making the eastern side increasingly arid. Dense forests transformed into savannas, forcing tree-dwelling apes, unable to cross the rift, to adapt to a harsh and sparse ground environment. Evolutionary pressures emerged, requiring animals to see over the grass to spot food and predators. They had to stand up to see further during running, and long-distance travel was necessary to find food. Many animals from the trees couldn't adapt to the savanna and quickly became extinct. Most early apes died, but some adapted to upright walking and survived. Bipedalism also had a significant advantage: energy efficiency. Researchers conducted experiments comparing humans and chimpanzees running the same distance on treadmills, measuring oxygen consumption with masks. Results showed humans walking upright used only a quarter of the energy compared to chimpanzees walking on all fours. This means the same energy intake allowed humans to travel much further, increasing the likelihood of finding food on the savanna. In harsh environments, even slight energy savings could mean survival. This is one reason humans can't resist high-calorie foods. In the African savanna, if early humans encountered sugary or fatty foods, they quickly consumed them for energy to survive longer. This led to evolutionary changes, where the taste system rewarded sugar with dopamine, making it a desirable experience. The same applied to fats, with the digestive system evolving to process more meat and fat, making humans omnivores, capable of eating anything nutritious and energy-rich to avoid starvation. Meanwhile, energy-efficient bipedalism allowed human ancestors to have more time for reproduction and social interaction. Complex phenomena often arise from simple causes. The primary reason for bipedalism was energy conservation, coupled with the need for hunting, fleeing, and navigation. Humans permanently stood up. Other animals didn't evolve bipedalism because it also brought fatal drawbacks, which I will discuss in future episodes. Evolution is a process of finding the optimal solution in a specific environment. I'd also like to point out that evolution sounds beautiful in documentaries, symbolizing higher, more complex, and fascinating forms. However, as seen in our ancestors' transition from crawling to upright walking, evolution is a cruel process. The source of evolution is genetic mutation, with 99.999% of mutations being harmful, caused by abnormal environmental factors or DNA replication errors. The most efficient way to damage genetic information is nuclear radiation, leading to death from congenital defects. Only 1 in 10 million mutations offers an environmental advantage, allowing individuals to outcompete others, increasing their chances of survival and reproduction. Evolution is filled with endless conflict, competition, and death. People often say that humans have hardly evolved since entering the civilized era, suggesting humans aren't a product of evolution and citing a creator. But if humans had evolved significantly in the past 5,000 years, it would mean living in a carcinogenic environment to promote beneficial mutations. Simultaneously, mutated humans would need to continuously eliminate others, ensuring rapid population growth among the advantageous individuals to refresh humanity, resulting in evolution. However, the reality is evolution is a long and harsh process. softened by tens of thousands to millions of years. Although our ancestors' bipedalism resulted from environmental deterioration and natural selection, it opened the door to incredible future evolutions. Bipedalism's energy efficiency allowed our ancestors to travel longer distances, providing potential for long-distance running. But this required a series of adaptations. The entire body's weight rested on the feet, making them specialized tools. The arch developed, sacrificing foot flexibility for shock absorption. Lower limbs thickened, knees enlarged, and pelvises widened to support the upper body, all requiring more energy and nutrients, especially calcium. Long periods of upright walking and standing increased balance demands, stimulating brain evolution. The brain had to coordinate numerous fine muscle adjustments based on visual information to maintain balance. Try standing on one leg with your eyes open and closed. Without visual support, it's much harder, highlighting the brain's role in balance. Humans also differ from other non-upright primates in that most of our skin is exposed, having lost the dense fur that covers most mammals, leaving only certain areas covered. Why is this? Fur not only retains warmth and energy, but also prevents sunburn and insect bites. In the bush, it prevents scratches and infections, and helps camouflage. So, why did humans lose this valuable fur? Most mammals retained their fur, except for large animals like elephants and hippos that needed to dissipate heat. This issue has been debated, with theories like neoteny, hygiene, and even the aquatic ape hypothesis. However, these theories don't explain why other animals didn't evolve similarly. The fundamental reason relates to bipedalism. With energy-efficient bipedalism, humans could easily acquire enough energy for long-distance running. But this brought a new problem: heat dissipation. Without a way to effectively cool down, long-distance running would be impossible. Humans evolved to sweat more efficiently than any other animal, turning our bodies into highly effective cooling machines. This allowed us to run long distances without overheating. For example, some indigenous peoples in the Americas and Australia engage in persistence hunting, where they chase an animal until it collapses from exhaustion. Human bodies, largely unchanged for about 200,000 years since the appearance of Homo sapiens, are still optimized for this ancient lifestyle of running and hunting. This is why modern sedentary lifestyles often lead to health issues, and why we crave outdoor activities. Our bodies are built to move, hunt, and gather, not sit in offices all day. As bipedalism opened up new evolutionary pathways, it also required significant adaptations. These included specialized feet with arches, robust lower limbs, larger pelvises, and enhanced brain functions for balance and coordination. The evolution of bipedalism thus set the stage for the development of human intelligence and complex social structures. In future episodes, I will discuss the story of human intelligence, the challenges of bipedalism on childbirth, and how these factors contributed to the rise of civilization. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content on human evolution. Thank you for watching the first episode of Arcane Archives.